Hey everyone, we're going to go ahead and jump in right into the adult mask. You're going to need 2 pieces of fabric, 8 inches by 7 inches each, and you're going to have the right sides facing each other, which are the sides that have the brighter color on them. You want to make sure that they're flush, and you're going to go ahead and pin here at the bottom. This pinning is going to be the bottom of the mask, and the top is going to be an opening for our filter pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. You're going to want to do a zigzag here on this edge, and a zigzag on this edge. Then you're going to go ahead and close this back up and do a zigzag here where we pinned. I did an overcasting stitch, but any kind of zigzag stitch should work. This is basically just to prevent the fraying of these threads that are right here. Over time they will be fraying and they will be coming off. So that is why you would want to do the zigzag, so that, as you can see here, when I pull on it, there's no fraying. Okay, so once you have that done, you're going to want to go to your ironing board, and I have the opening side facing me and the side that is already stitched together away from me. I'm going to go ahead and fold one of the fabric's edge about 1/2 inch over, and I'm going to give that a quick press. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to do about 1/2 inch again and give it a quick press as well. I'm going to do a straight stitch on both sides with 1/2 inch seam allowance. So this is what it should look like. Your line should be straight. Each side should look like this with a straight line. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a nose wire. Pretty much this is just a twist tie that I bought that you use for treat bags. And that straight stitch that we just did created a channel for our nose wire to go into. My nose wire is 7 inches long, and the cool thing about this is they're bendable and flexible, so it serves as a really nice nose wire. Next, I'm going to take a fabric pencil or a fabric marker, and I'm going to use my measuring tape, but you can also use a ruler for this step. I'm going to measure 1 inch from the very top of the mask, and I'm going to make a small marking. I'm going to go ahead and do this to the bottom as well. I'm going to mark 1 inch from the bottom. I'm going to repeat this step on all corners and on both sides of the mask. For my elastics, I'm actually going to be using hair ties. I'm using hair ties because the shortage of elastics is crazy right now. I'm pretty sure anybody who is trying to make masks understands. So hair ties are actually a really good alternative to use for your face masks. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half, and I'm going to give them a stretch, as much stretch as I can give them. And then my hair ties came with this little metal piece, so I'm just going to take that off. But basically those markings that we did earlier, they're going to be to guide us on where our elastic is going to go. So we're going to go ahead and take this to a sewing machine. You're going to want the open side facing you. You don't want it facing the other way. Trust me, this is a very important step. So please make sure that it's opened facing you. I'm going to go ahead and do the zigzag again. And when I get to the mark that I made, I'm going to go ahead and stop. I'm going to lift up my presser foot, and I'm going to insert my elastic through the open side. I'm going to use my seam ripper to help me push in the elastic even further and closer to the needle. And you're going to want at least a little bit of the elastic poking out to the right of the presser foot, and you're going to continue with your zigzag until you get to the next mark. As you can see, I'm approaching my next mark, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it until it reaches the needle. Once I get to the mark, I stop sewing and lift up the presser foot. I reach into the pocket to grab the other end of the elastic, and I use my seam ripper to help me push it close to the needle so I can get it as close to the marking as possible. Again, you want to make sure you have a little bit of excess elastic to the right of your presser foot. I'm going to put down the presser foot and continue with the zigzag until I get to the very end. I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same process on the other side of the mask. Once you get done putting the elastic, your mask pocket or your mask baggie should look like this. Go ahead and flip it inside out, and I actually use the round side of my seam ripper or the lid side of my seam ripper to help me poke out the corners. I also go around and check the seams of the baggie just to make sure that there's no loose threads. If there is any threads, then I go ahead and clip them off. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take it to my ironing board. I'm going to give this a quick press just to make sure that the baggie is flat and not puffy. It makes it easier to work with. And I have here 4 pins to help you create the layers of the mask. I'm going to estimate about 1 inch above of the bottom of the elastic. I'm going to pinch the fabric and fold it down and pin both sides. For the other fold we're going to make, you're going to take the remaining fabric that is between the fold that we just made and the other side of the elastic. Once you've created that fold, you're going to pin it and do the same thing on the other side. There's no specific way of doing this. You might have to play around with it a little bit. You just want both of the folds to be able to fit in between that elastic loop. Once I've got my fold, I pin that one as well. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a quick press right in the middle. Then I'm going to take off the pins from one side and give that a press. Take off the pins from the other side and give it a press as well. By the way, guys, I'm so sorry about all the shaky movement. Apparently my ironing board was shaking my tripod all over the place. Once I've pressed this side, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and give the other side a quick press as well. So for the final step, you want to take this to your sewing machine and have the pocket side facing away from you. You're going to do a straight stitch starting from that stitch that I'm pointing at all the way down, and you're going to do this on the other side of the mask as well. So for the right side of the mask, you want the fabric to be aligned with the edge of the presser foot, and you want to start your needle with that line going across that you had stitched earlier. I'm going to put down my presser foot and I'm going to do a straight stitch, maintaining my fabric along the edge of the presser foot. Remember to back stitch at the beginning and back stitch at the end. For the left side of the mask, I'm going to use the left side of the presser foot as my guide, leaving about 1/4 of an inch of fabric to the left of the presser foot. And here is our mask all completely done. At the end of stitching, I always do a little safety check. I kind of give it a little tug, and I tug on the elastic as well just to make sure that everything is stitched in correctly. So this is what it looks like. This is the gray side and the marble side. I made a marble mask because you guys know that I love marble so much. So as you guys can see, the nose wire is bendable. It has a pocket for your filter where you can use an actual filter, or you can use a paper towel or anything really that can help serve as a filter. Alright guys, so this is the finished product. This is the one side marble and one side gray polka dot mask. As you can see, it is an adult size, so it fits me perfectly fine. And it has a little nose wire here so that it accommodates perfectly with the nose. And it extends this way and reaches all the way down to my neck. This is the gray side and this is the marble side. You guys know how much I love marble, so I had to make one that was marble. I know I was out for quite some time. I was actually making a lot of masks for sale, but I wanted to show you guys a tutorial on how to make these face masks. I know right now with everything going on, there are some people who can't afford to buy face masks, so I wanted to show a tutorial on how to make them at home. You can even use some fabric from clothing, stuff like that. It doesn't have to be any fabric you specifically have to buy at the store. So as you guys can see, you can even make these with hair elastics, hair ties. Right now it's a huge shortage for regular elastic that you would use for sewing or for anything crafting related. So hair elastics work perfect for this, and for the nose wire, like I said, you can use pipe cleaners or the twist ties that you use for the treat bags. So I really hope you guys like this video. So I went ahead and took off the mask just so you guys maybe,
It's a little weird maybe if you guys are seeing me or hearing me talk but you don't see my lips moving, so I went ahead and took it off. But I am going to link down below the measurements and a PDF where you can actually print out the pattern for the adult mask. I linked down below the measurements for a child's mask as well. It's the same exact process except that the sizing is a little different, so you guys can see the sizing in the PDF that I provided, and you guys can print that out at home, or you guys can just measure it out with the measurements that I provided. And instead of doing the 2 folds, you guys are gonna just do 1 fold right in the middle. So I'm probably gonna post a video about that just so you guys can have that as a reference in case some of you guys want to make a child mask. So stay tuned for that. And you guys stay tuned for my next video because I will be giving some details on how you guys can enter a giveaway regarding some masks. So you guys stay tuned for that. If you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up down below. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe down below for more awesome videos. I really hope that all of this goes away soon and that we can all go back to normality, hopefully soon. But everybody, please take care, please stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video coming out very, very soon. Bye.